Alright, what up? What up, everybody? Today's video is going to be on changes I would like to see to Pillar Chase 2. Honestly, you know, some of these stuff I'd like to see, prevent the game from getting stale and whatnot. Like, subscribe, drink water, enjoy my awesome slideshow. There's the key at the bottom. Green are changes that I believe should definitely happen. They should already be a thing. Yellow changes that can happen, but they might need changing depending on what you guys think. And then red changes are my controversial changes. So that's like the really crazy stuff that might work, but most definitely probably isn't going to work. Small changes. Uno is wipe lobby as a monster. Gives you 150 XP and 1 priority point. There's really no point. No reward when you wipe a whole lobby as a monster. I feel like there should be more. So at least maybe a little bit of XP, or maybe like 1 priority point so you could get monster again. Because in most cases I see when people get to the last survivor, they just end up farming with them, or they just try to like kill them with an ability instead of like playing normally, because it just takes forever. Number 2 is map choosing, voting, or being able to see the next map. So this one's kind of weird. A lot of people don't like this idea, but I feel like it's a good idea because like there's some monsters that just do horrible on certain maps. Like Nilo on like Forest, that one's a god awful map. I mean, you just miss the mansion, or not the mansion, the house, and hopefully nobody goes in it. Buff the Doomfist item because it sucks. It's horrible. There's probably better changes people can probably think of, but I think my idea for the change is that it should have 100% more knockback. So like when you hit them with it, it just knocks them back super far, but it only has 1 charge, so you can't use it twice. This might not even help it too much, but I feel like it'd be really funny, but it also might break the game. And then number 4 is being able to see mask level, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the masks actually have monster level, and I feel like you should at least be able to see that. I do hate people who use masks, which is really annoying as I'm playing Killer, or just Survivor. Just more of a nuisance more than anything. But I feel like you guys should still at least be able to see what level you guys are. And then, controversial change, but when you get to the last survivor, like you kill everybody in the lobby but the last person, I feel like more time should be added. Because, there's been a lot of times where the killer's got like 10 seconds left and the last survivor's across the map. I feel like... Alright, my bad there. My mic kind of cut out. Next one is more items should spawn on the map. I feel like there's just not enough medkits or flashlights just in general for everybody. So I feel like there should be more, because there's been a lot of cases where you're broken bone, you're running around looking for a medkit, or maybe a flashlight because it's a Vita Mimic. But there's a guy that has 2 flashlights, he has a medkit, he's not sharing, and he's just hogging everything. And then another red one. This one doesn't really need to come to the game. This is more just a personal thing. Objectives are now randomly generated around the map. So I don't think this should really apply for everything and everything. Like maybe not vents, like the 4 vents in the corner, but like stuff like notes in dungeon, like the really small stuff. I feel like that should be randomly around the map. So it's never the same. You're not always just following the same loop. But it's got to be obviously a bit more balanced, so not like every single one of the objectives spawns in the corner or something. Like, speaking of a map that has that is Forest, there's all the notes, or not the notes, the trash in the upstairs and the downstairs. Most survivors just run straight to that building at the start and ignore everything else. So, next slide. These are my monster buffs. I know I'm probably getting a lot of hate for this. Before this even starts, this is not going to include every monster. There's some monsters I don't feel like I play enough to give my opinion on. Like, I still have not bought Ao Oni, so I'm not even going to like attempt to give my opinion on bro. But these are just people that I play, and people that I see a lot of debate around in the community that I feel like they should have changes. Rosemary, she's in dire need of buffs. She is consistently, in every tier list video you've probably seen, she's one of the worst monsters. First change that I think should already be a thing is that echolocation now gives 10 stamina, or maybe just some amount of stamina. Because Rosemary just really sucks in chase. Like most high level Rosemaries, if you're too far away from them, they'll drop chase and try to ambush you later on. So she has more stamina to work with than she could like go off of that. Number 2, this is a controversial change for me, but Demonic Shriek now gives 5% haste, which if you don't know what that is, it's a speed buff. So after she uses it, she gets a little speed buff. So, because you know how she like stands still when she does it? So if she has like a little speed buff, that speed buff will help her catch up to a survivor. But the speed buff won't last long, obviously, so it's not like insane. Just enough that where she can get back to the survivor, or at least get close to the survivor. So there's like some counterplay involved, you know. And then last one is that Rosemary should have 10 more stamina overall. Not like just 10 stamina. I know I kind of worded that a little weird. She should have 10 more. So she has like some weird amount. I think it was like 50. I think she'd be like 60 or 70 or something like that. That would just make her a little bit more better. Next slide. MX. This guy's overpowered, but he's my main. I'm Diamond MX, so I know what I'm talking about. I played a character and you don't. This is not going to be biased. Uno. Reduce sprint speed by 2. This is our old change. This is what he got buffed recently. So it goes back from 24, goes down to 22. This requires MX to use 2 brain cells instead of 1 brain cell when they're chasing people around the map. Number 2, longer cooldowns on his abilities. 5 seconds for charging demise and 10 seconds for hop. Added to it, not just like overall, like added to it. So again, less spam, and the MX needs to be a bit more smart on how they use their abilities. Because I'm going to be for real, unless I make a mistake as an MX, you are not running away from me. You are dying. So these allow me to be a bit more smart and not just use them whenever I want. And the third one, this one's more of a funny change. This is kind of a very controversial one. Charging Demise now has an increased turn rate of 25%, allowing for sick drifts and is 3 seconds longer, but suffers way more end lag. And you might not know what this is, but here's the best way to explain it. So MX can really only go forward. Imagine if you could just make like a U, or like maybe even a bit more crazy, probably too much, an L. Like, I feel like that would just be fun. But if he hits something, or just in general, he's way more end lag, so it's way harder for him to get back to you. But the ability would just be like so much more fun. But that's why that one's red, because that one's just like a funny one. And then fourth one is Power Hop. If the AoE hits survivor, not MX landing on them, because if MX lands on you with Power Hop, it kills you instantly. Just like the area of effect, if it hits you and you don't jump, it reveals your aura, because MX has 0 aura revealing besides his passive. So in some cases, your best bet against an MX is just to hide. So I feel like he should have like a little bit of something, and like the only way you need to counter it is just jump. Like, I don't think it's that hard. And then the last one is a damage nerf, but this one I couldn't think of really a good number, but I know his damage is a little bit much. But like, it's also, he has a kind of a small hitbox on his foot. Like, I know if you ever been hit by an MX, it doesn't seem like that, but like, he really does have a really small hitbox. So, but he does need a damage nerf, like, very badly. And then Vapor. This one I already know people are going to be pissed off at me for doing, because there's people in the community that think Vapor is the most broken monster in existence, which is not true, and you're just horrible at this game. Is that what you think that? Or you're on mobile, which if you play mobile, I'm sorry, you know, that makes sense. You can complain about Vapor on mobile because it is impossible to kill the spiders on mobile. But number 1, spiders are now faster, and Vapor may teleport to them whenever. So currently, Vapor can only teleport to spiders if they hit someone. This will just allow him to teleport to them right away. And the spiders being faster now makes it more annoying. But that one's a red change, because the spiders being a little bit too fast might... spoil the next one. Spiders being too fast might just... might be a little bit more annoying. And then this one, second one... New third ability where Vapor may place a teleport spot where you can choose the demonic shift there as well. Using this ability causes all players to suffer a Vapor hallucination. What a Vapor hallucination thing is, that weird thing where if he's close, it's like, "Rah!" And it like jump scares you a bit, and it like makes you turn to him. That's what would happen. So this, what it does is it adds something for his passive so he can aura read people. It adds him a new teleport spot, so he doesn't have to teleport to his spiders, and he doesn't have to teleport to his last position. So he could pick an area and teleport to that, like maybe cut off a survivor or something. Third ability, which is actually part of the second one, Demonic Shift now allows Vapor to pick between the spider, his last 30-second position, or the teleport spot. So he can just pick one of those and go from there, instead of having like one option. Because right now, if a spider is hitting someone, you have to teleport to that. You can't go back. And in some cases, it's better to go back. Like on Eclipse, that one loop that everybody hates, it's better to go back instead of having the spider on them. And then fourth change is damage from basic attack is now 80, so it's a 5% increase. Vapor should just be able to break your bone if he gets you, because that's his whole thing, is he has to skillfully get up to you and attack you. He's also extremely loud, so if you don't hear him, that's completely your fault. And if it's really not that hard to fight Vapor. I know I'm already going to get like 40 hate comments for this, but that's just how it is. And then fourth one is teleporting, and Vapor in general is just more quiet. But not like too quiet. Like obviously you can hear the but it's not like it's like a little bit less quiet, you know. So like if he's like across the map, you can't hear him. But if he's like next door, or maybe in the hallway in FNAF 3, you know he's there. Alright, next monster that totally didn't spoil is or Godzilla, kinda, not really. Nilo is a very high skill monster, so I want him to remain like that because it's fun playing him and actually pulling his stuff off, but he needs like a little bit more of a push. But I don't want to do it too much because he was like really broken like 2 months ago, and I do not want him to return to that. So the first one though, this one's red because I think this number is a little bit too much, but stamina is increased to 42 because you play Nilo, your stamina runs out in like 2 seconds. It's like very easily to run out as Nilo. So if he has a little bit more, might be less of a chance of running out. Number 2 is when standing still, his horrible passive now highlights all players until he starts moving again. This also happens during his erratic mist ability, which is like his little throw up thing he does. So this one, Nilo suffers from no aura reading. So the main way you beat Nilo is you just kind of hide in a locker all game. So if he has like a little bit of aura reading, this would help, but this requires him to stand still, obviously, and like see where everybody is. And then number 3, the heartbeat noise is now increased because it is extremely quiet. The passive, this is a horrible passive. You know, it really needs a buff. But I feel like the noise should just be now increased. This one should at least come the third one, and maybe not the second one. You know, maybe people might not like the second one. And number 3, this one should already be a thing. I don't know why it's not, but God now gives XP for landing instead of having to kill. For some reason, when you hit someone with this ability, it gives you no experience points until you kill them. So, like, I just don't understand why that's a thing. But, like, it makes me not want to use the ability, because if I hit them, that's less experience for me. But it should have a small amount and then increase more when you kill someone with it, obviously. So, but that is the end of the video. I probably missed some changes. If you guys have some changes or, you know, opinions you would like to give to these, drop them in the comments. You know, I like to debate. I like to give my opinion. I would like to see other people's opinions. Unless you think Vapor is broken, because I'm not listening to that opinion. You're just pretty bad at the game. But anyways, thank you guys for the video. I think my next video is probably going to be about Sparking Zero when that drops. So if you guys are hyped for that, you know, let me know. See ya.